So minimalism and simple living are very hot topics right now, very popular topics. And it's probably because more and more people are realizing that the rat race or working long hours so that they can pay for more gadgets doesn't make them happy after all. They suddenly wish their lives were simpler. They wish they had more time for themselves, to have hobbies, to relax, to enjoy life, and also to be with the people they love. Well, minimalism, simple living, and slow living are just 3 lifestyles that can sort of provide an exit door, like an exit plan to the rat race. And these lifestyles are different, but they also share similarities. For example, they are all centered around intentionality. They are not mutually inclusive nor mutually exclusive. You could adopt just one of these lifestyles or all 3. And the right choice for you depends on your life circumstances, your interests, your values, and your aspirations and your goals for the future. So in this video, I'll explain what each lifestyle is and also try to clarify the main differences between the 3. My goal is to help you get an idea of which one is right for you at this current time in your life. Although it's true that there's a certain mindset behind minimalism, and I've talked about that in another video, which I'm going to link somewhere on the screen and in the description below. When we speak of minimalism, we usually refer to owning and buying less stuff. It's very much about the number of things you own. When you adopt a minimalist lifestyle, you are choosing to cut down your material possessions to the bare minimum. The number of items is subjective though. There's no definite rule to determine if a person is a minimalist or not. The idea is just to downsize to the minimum amount of things you need. Or as Colin Wright puts it, being a minimalist doesn't mean owning nothing. It means owning exactly the right things for one's needs and priorities. It's not about being anti-consumption. It's about being anti-compulsory consumption. Because your needs may differ from someone else's needs, then the number of things someone can possess to be considered a minimalist is subjective. Simple living is more holistic than minimalism. It encompasses all areas of life and not just material possessions. Living simply usually involves decluttering and living with less, but not necessarily to the point of owning the bare minimum. It's more about living an unpretentious and less complicated life that allows for more time for yourself. It's very much about reducing stress and feelings of overwhelm and creating more balance in your life. However, it doesn't necessarily imply giving most of your things away. To me, the goal of simple living is to live a more fulfilling and less stressful life. It's common that people who adopt this lifestyle will choose to live simply, also live in a more sustainable way and care more about the impact they have on the environment. So I'm going to share with you a little exercise that's going to help you define what it means to you to live a simpler life because, again, it's subjective. So on a sheet of paper, you can draw a vertical line and on the left side, list all the stressors in your life. What makes you feel stressed, overwhelmed, or unhappy? What feels heavy and like a burden? On the right side, list what brings you joy and a sense of inner peace. What makes you feel good? And then brainstorm ways to reduce the stressors and make more space for the things that make you feel good. After doing this exercise, you may decide that decluttering and downsizing are the way to go. You may even decide to downsize to the point of the bare minimum and become a minimalist. Or maybe you'll decide to simplify your life in other ways, like working less hours, perhaps changing jobs, or moving to a new house that has a garden, or reducing your spending, or cutting out cable TV. The main idea of simple living is to unburden yourself and live more lightly. Often it involves owning less stuff, but it's not just about your material possessions. Now my personal favorite, slow living. So SLOW is an acronym for sustainable, local, organic, and whole. The acronym already gives a pretty good idea of what this lifestyle is about. It's a lifestyle centered around our well-being, but also the well-being of other people and the planet. Also, even if slow living isn't about moving as slowly as possible, there's a saying that goes like, it's about savoring the minutes rather than counting them. However, it doesn't say that you must live with as few things as possible like a minimalist. I believe you could be an antique collector and still embrace slow living, just like you could be a minimalist who doesn't eat organic food. I do think that the little exercise I mentioned earlier about making a list of the things that stress you and of the things that bring you joy is a good starting point. It'll help you define your priorities and also make sure that you build your life around those priorities as you move forward. Then whether you choose the minimalist or simple living or slow living path or another path perhaps, the choice is yours. Like, what matters is that you feel happy, at peace, and fulfilled. And this is my wish for you. I have other videos about minimalism and simple living. I'm going to link them somewhere on the screen and in the description below. And thank you for watching. If this video was helpful to you, even a little bit, let me know by giving it a thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't. And that's it for me. I wish you a beautiful week and I'll see you next week.